This is Dr. Yates giving you another update on some more of the questions I've gotten on the emails. And this is just not a question I get on email, but this is actually a real live situation that I see, I'm going to say every consultation, more so with younger men than older men. And the question is, Dr. Yates, how come, number one, my hairline, when you transplant it, can't be down here? Because they'll bring me a picture from their high school graduation with their hairline right here. Why can't it be here? Why does it have to be back here? And why does it have to be shaped like you're shaping it? And of course, there's a reason for that. So what I want to go through is hairline design is not just something that everybody comes and just draws what they want. Okay, there's a reason for these things, and we're going to go through them quickly so they don't get boring. The things that I take into consideration on everyone, because there's no two hairlines which are the same in my mind, okay, is the shape of the face. Is the shape long? Is the shape round? Shape of the forehead. Is the forehead narrow? Is the forehead flat? Accompaniment of the sides, meaning what do the sides look like? And this is my FUE kind of display here. But what do the sides look like? Do you have a lot of hair on the sides? Do you have a prominent triangle here? What do the sides look like? Because everything has to match. And then what's going to be the future loss? Because what people don't take into consideration on the sides as we get older, on some people move back. So it looks like if you've taken and looking at pictures or even seen pictures of your dad or family members as they get older, it says, man, I used to think my dad's head was getting bigger. That's not it. His sides are moving back, and so is the top. So you have to take that into consideration. These sides might go back. So if you put permanent hair in there, you got to make sure if these sides go back and you close these angles, you'll have little shrub brushes that are sitting out here by themselves. So you got to take that into consideration. So this is what I do. Okay. The things you want to look at. Look at the head. You want to, of course, measure where the midpoint is, because you want to know where the midpoint is. Where you want to start planting hair, everyone's forehead's a little different. There's a vertical portion, there's a horizontal portion. You want to plant hair where? On the horizontal portion. You don't want to plant hair where the forehead is vertical. And that differs for everybody. There are a lot of rules out here to make people safe, and they'll say, well, I got to plant your forehead at 8 centimeters, your hairline 8 centimeters from the brow. But that's not legit on everybody, because everybody's head is shaped different. So number one, you have to know where the middle, and you want to start planting where the forehead is flat. You don't want to put hair where the forehead's vertical. Now, people come in and their hairline is down here naturally, but that's not where we're going to transplant. We're going to start where your forehead is vertical. Now, a lot of people come in and said there's a rule of Da Vinci, the head in thirds. Well, I don't know about you, but Da Vinci lived back in 1500. Okay, a lot of things have changed since 1500. And on this rule of thirds, some people, like I have a longer chin, this distance from this distance to this distance would place my hairline up here. So that's just a rough guide. If you're just coming in doing like this, or 4 fingers, that's very, very rough, okay? Midpoint, okay? Flat part of the head, okay? Those are 2 things. The other thing that's a must, everybody wants this rounded hairline that they had when they were a kid. That's a female hairline, okay? It's not a male hairline. It's not consistent with aging. If you look at people as they get older, men that aren't bald, everyone has what we call an inverted V, inverted V, where actually the side has come back a little bit and the top has come back a little bit. So you want to create what? The inverted V, or a triangle in the side. Okay, so what that means is the hairline that you're creating will have some natural recession. This rounding is very much frowned upon because the side of the head is also changing. The sides can recede. If you plant hair in here, this recedes, this will look like a shrubbery bush. You just have to trust me here. So what you want to do is to consider how you're going to look as you age. We want you to have plenty of hair and look thick, but just look at men who are in their 30s, 40s, 50s who haven't lost hair. They will have this inverted V. I'd say most of them will have that. So that's just something that I always do. The shape of the hairline looks more like a bell shape with wings. kind of curvy linear with wings, okay? And you can see on this gentleman here, the way his is placed, we start putting the apex of that hairline where his forehead is flat, not on the vertical part, and we kind of flare it out into the sides. Flare it out into the sides. We don't round it and bring it down here, because if these sides move back, this hair is going to stand out alone. Even when the hairline has this shape, when it grows, trust me, it looks squarer. It doesn't look like this. It only looks like this when it's shaved. And the other thing is, no one wants a perfect hairline. I mean, you just don't want it to be too straight. It has to look like ziggity-zaggity, like what I say, an insect is running across your forehead, because no one has a perfect hairline. If I see a hairline on someone that just looks like this, too perfect, I know he's been transplanted. You don't want that. You want it to look natural. Let your barber line up your hairline or do whatever he or she has to do, but I will not make a perfectly straight hairline. This design I'll do it all the time, but it won't be perfectly straight. The other thing that you have to consider is racial variations. Say in African Americans, usually the forehead shape allows you to make the hairline a little flatter. Not as flat as this, but is not as much as recession as this. So temporal recession, very important. I always call this angle here is hallowed space, because we just don't want to do anything stupid by removing grafts that we can use in here to put in here, because if these sides move back, there will be a problem. Okay, so it's not that as hair transplant surgeons we don't want to give you what you want. We just want to give you something that will work, and that's what you're paying us for. So I hope that answered the question about hairline design. Hairline design is a little bit, more technical than most people think. It's not, in my mind, 4 fingers are just going here, here, here. Because if you do like Da Vinci and 15 whatever, here, 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 I don't even know why you have to measure the second one. If you measure the first one and go from the brow up, that should be the same. And that was a very, very rough estimation. But there is no rule for the human body that works on everybody. Why? Because everybody's different. So, I'd like to hear from you. This is Dr. Yates. Thank you very much.